Meet Mola Mola. It is currently floating. Just floating. Right there in the middle of the ocean, suspended in the deep blue about the size of a small car, staring at absolutely nothing in particular. This is not a fish having a bad day. This is a fish having a perfectly normal Tuesday. Now, the internet has a lot to say about Mola Mola. Most of it is some version of, this fish was built wrong. No real tail, eats almost nothing but jellyfish, lays 300 million eggs and then immediately leaves. Occasionally just lies flat on the surface. The meme writes itself. But here's the thing, Mola Mola has been doing exactly this. The floating, the jellyfish, all of it, for 50 million years. That's longer than most mountain ranges have existed. Longer than India has been part of Asia. Longer than horses have had hooves. So before we decide, this fish doesn't know what it's doing, maybe we should actually look at what it's doing. The name Mola Mola is Latin for millstone. Round, heavy, rough. In Japanese and Chinese, it's called moonfish because it floats at the surface like a pale circle. Taxonomically, Mola belongs to the order Tetraodontiformes, the same family as pufferfish. If you've ever looked at a pufferfish and thought, that looks like an accident, yes, this is its cousin. First, the scale. Mola Mola is the heaviest bony fish on Earth, not a shark. Sharks are cartilaginous, not a whale. Those are mammals. Among fish with actual bones, Mola is the champion. Average adult, around 1,000 kilograms. The record, confirmed, was 2,744 kilograms measured in Sète, France, in 1908. Now, the skin. No scales. Instead, Mola's skin is up to 7.5 centimeters thick. A dense, rubbery, almost cartilage-like material. For reference, a shark's skin is about 3 millimeters. Mola's skin is 25 times thicker than a shark's. This isn't fat or muscle, this is pure skin. Marine biologists who've examined beached Mola specimens describe trying to cut through it as like trying to saw through thick rubber with a butter knife. Now the tail situation. Mola has no caudal fin, the standard fishtail. Instead, it has a callus, Latin for key, and the clavus is not a missing tail. Look at a baby Mola, a juvenile the size of your thumbnail. It has a perfectly normal-looking spiny tail. As it grows, those fin rays fold inward and fuse. This happens deliberately, under genetic control. The clavus isn't an accident, it's an arrival. The mouth is also unusual. Mola Mola's teeth have fused together into two solid plates, one on top, one on bottom, forming a hard, rounded beak. It can bite and tear, but not snap wide. The eyes, however, are surprisingly good. Studies show color discrimination and depth perception. For an animal navigating between pitch-dark 600-meter depths and bright surface water, good eyes aren't optional. Here's perhaps the strangest anatomical fact. Mola Mola has no swim bladder. Almost every bony fish has one, a gas-filled organ for controlling buoyancy. Mola doesn't. This means it has to manage buoyancy through constant movement. When Mola stops swimming, it wants to sink. Tilting sideways at the surface maximizes surface area and slows the descent. So, we know how Mola is built. Now let's actually spend a day with it. Before sunrise, the ocean surface is still dark, and Mola is already going down. Descending from warm surface water toward 2 degrees Celsius at 600 meters. In the deep zone, Mola hunts. Primary prey, jellyfish, but also squid, crustaceans, salps. It uses its beak to tear off pieces, swallows, moves on, slowly, meditatively. Then, multiple times a day, Mola comes back up, from near freezing depth to warm, sunlit surface. And when it arrives, it does what it's famous for. It lies there, flat on its side, one fin pointing straight up, staring sideways at the sky with complete indifference. The image that launched 1,000 memes. Within minutes, seabirds arrive. Gulls, petrels, albatrosses, landing on the exposed flank. They begin methodically picking out parasites from the rough skin. Mola, for its part, holds perfectly still. A 2-ton animal being walked on by birds. The deadpan expression of a creature that has been doing this exact ritual for 50 million years. And then, this part is completely unexpected. Mola breaches. Fully out of the water, airborne, rotating, and crashing back down with a sound like a car falling off a bridge. After all of that, the dive, the hunt, the sunbath, the breach, Mola drifts at the surface in the golden hour. Soon, it'll begin the descent again. This is a Tuesday. The sunbathing. Mola is technically cold-blooded, but it has a rete mirabile, a wonderful net of blood vessels that retains heat in its swimming muscles. After a near-freezing dive, those muscles need warming. Sunbathing is the warm-up. It's functional endothermy. It is not laziness. The jellyfish diet. The open ocean has a density problem. Prey is spread thin, but jellyfish are everywhere, and no large predator competes with Mola for them. Mola found an ecological niche with unlimited supply and zero competition. That's not a bad strategy. That's a monopoly. The clavis. A standard fishtail generates horizontal thrust, but Mola's primary daily commute is vertical, down 600 meters and back up. Its fin system generates movement in all directions simultaneously, perfect for controlled ascents. It didn't lose a tail. It upgraded for a different commute. The breach hypothesis. The massive impact dislodges stubborn external parasites the birds couldn't reach. It's the largest, heaviest scratch in the animal kingdom. 300 million, the highest egg count of any vertebrate on Earth. Zero parental care. Of 300 million, perhaps 100, reach adulthood. A survival rate of 0.00003%. And yet, every generation, 100 make it. The species continues. The math is brutal. It works. Here is the fact that changes everything. Mola is one of the fastest growing vertebrates ever measured. A juvenile that fits in your hand will grow into a ton-heavy adult. At the Vancouver Aquarium, one captive Mola gained 0.82 kilograms per day for 15 consecutive months. The useless fish gains almost a kilogram a day. 50 million years ago, the Eocene epoch, the world is warm. And in those ancient seas, the ancestors of Mola Mola are already here. The lineage is unbroken for 50 million years. Through ice ages, mass extinctions, continental shifts, the fish outlasted all of it. Mola's closest living relative is the pufferfish. Both have fused beak teeth and unusual skin. The pufferfish went small and expanded inward. Mola went enormous and expanded outward. Mola Mola is listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List. Not from hunting, but bycatch. It's one of the most common accidental catches in drift nets meant for tuna. And then there's plastic. Plastic bags look exactly like jellyfish from below. Ingested plastic causes gut blockage and starvation. An animal that survived 50 million years of mass extinctions is now threatened by the thing we put our groceries in. That's worth sitting with for a moment. So, Mola Mola, it floats, it dives, it eats jellyfish, it sunbathes, it launches itself into the air. The internet calls it useless. The ocean calls it a success story. I know which one I believe.